All right, so I just finished a video on Facebook Live about anger, and just I'm gonna call this anger remixed. And so there's a whole host of different emotions. First and foremost, is what I wanted to say. But anger specifically, because when you think of anger, or when the anger comes up, uh, people's mind immediately goes towards there being something bad. And so once you have an understanding and arrive at a place of understanding, you will know that you can also use it to your advantage. And our emotions is there, and the only thing that we truly own in this world is our emotions. And so anger specifically, because a large percentage of the people, like I mentioned in that video, that's in prison, is because they allowed themselves in the heat of anger and rage and frustration to do something that they later regretted. And so the more we know, the more we grow. And with that being said, is learning how to use that specific emotion to help it get us to where we're trying to arrive at. When you are predictable and you are a person that people know that they can trigger you off, people is going to always use that because they control you. I'll say that again. When you have no control over your anger and no control over yourself, and you lack self discipline, you become predictable. And when you're predictable, people know how to control you. And so we have to have that awareness of that. That when people know how to push them buttons or know what to say and how to say it and when to say it, they're going to do it every single time because they win. And so when we have that understanding, and have the understanding that not every situation calls for a emotional reaction anyway. That's another thing. And so when we look at certain communities, we see why and made the connection of how our emotions is is tied to our health. Why certain communities have higher numbers when it comes to high blood pressure, hypertension, and heart related issues is because bam. And so as we are growing and we're developing, we understand and we have to understand that you are in control of your emotions first and foremost at all times. Nobody can make you feel any way really. You have to allow them and give them that power. And like I just made mention to a couple minutes ago, was the fact that once we get to that place of awareness and understanding that and not that we don't know, it's a fact that sometimes we have to be reminded that not every situation calls for a emotional reaction. Not and so we don't have to be on the defensive. You don't have to um, um, go one to 1,000 for every situation. And so if you can imagine being in that constant state of what they call it hypertension, of hiding emotions, the effects that gradually over time will have on your body anyway. And so we have to learn how to relax. We have to learn how to take it easy. So we went on why it used to be that we hear about older people having heart attacks, having strokes, having nervous breakdowns, and dealing with it. We have to deal with it. We have to address it in real time in a correct manner and know that, like I had to train myself, teach myself, think first and act second. And so step back, think about the situation. But the biggest aha moment I had is understanding that not every situation calls for a emotional reaction, and that we are in control of every situation that we allow ourselves to react to people, places, or things. And so once we own that, and once we get an understanding, like I said, the understanding and the awareness that in order for me to have a reaction towards anybody or anything or any situation, I have to give that power over. I have to make that decision that I'm going to give my power over to whatever and whoever um, is asking for it.